A cat has just fallen into the water and its reaction is pure panic. But thousands of kilometers away, on the shores of Lake Van in Turkey, there are cats that voluntarily jump into the water to swim. The relationship between cats and water is much more complex than you imagine, and evolutionary science has remarkable explanations. Welcome to Cat Brothers. Today we're going to solve one of the great mysteries of feline behavior: why most cats detest water while some breeds adore it. Get ready, because the answer involves evolution, genetics, anatomy, and thousands of years of history. Let's start with anatomy. The domestic cat's coat has two layers, an outer layer of guard hairs and a dense undercoat called underfur. According to Dr. Sarah Ellis from the University of Lincoln, when the underfur gets wet, it takes a long time to dry. A wet cat loses its ability to regulate its body temperature and becomes vulnerable to cold. The ancestor of the domestic cat, Felis sylvestris libica, evolved in the deserts of the Middle East about 130,000 years ago. Genetic research published in Nature Ecology and Evolution in 2017 confirmed that these cats lived in arid environments with very little contact with bodies of water. They simply didn't need to adapt to an aquatic environment. But there's a crucial sensory factor. Cats have approximately 200 million olfactory receptors in their nose, according to data from the Waltham Veterinary Research Institute. Tap water contains chlorine and other chemicals that are imperceptible to us but overwhelming for a cat. The smell of treated water is unpleasant for them. Dr. John Bradshaw, a biologist from the University of Bristol and author of Cat Sense, explains that cats are control animals. They need to feel that they dominate their environment. Moving water is unpredictable, chaotic. When a cat gets wet accidentally, it loses agility, its fur weighs more, and its movements become clumsy. For a predator, that's unacceptable. However, many cats are fascinated by water in small quantities. A feline behavior study from the University of Edinburgh documented that 68% of the observed cats showed interest in running tap water. They dip their paws, touch it, observe it. The attraction exists, but on their own terms. Now let's talk about the Turkish Van, the swimming breed par excellence. Originating from the Lake Van region in eastern Turkey, this cat developed a unique semi-waterproof coat with a texture similar to cashmere. Researcher Laura Lushington documented in 1955 how these cats voluntarily jumped into the lake to fish and cool off. The Turkish Van's coat lacks a dense undercoat. It only has a layer of long, silky hair that efficiently repels water. According to the Turkish Cat Breeders Association, these cats can swim considerable distances and their fur dries in minutes. Genetics gave them exactly what they needed to love water. Another notable aquatic breed is the Bengal. Descendant of the Asian leopard cat, Prionelurus bengalensis, which hunts fish in the rivers of Southeast Asia. Dr. Leslie Lyons from the University of Missouri confirmed that Bengals retain genes from their wild ancestor that include an affinity for water. Many owners report that they get into the shower with them. The Maine Coon also has a special relationship with water. Its dense, water-repellent coat evolved in the harsh winters of New England. The Cat Fanciers Association documents that Maine Coons frequently splash in their water bowls and show less aversion to bathing than other breeds. Their history as fishing boat cats explains a lot. The Savannah cat, a hybrid between domestic cat and African serval, also loves water. Servals hunt in African wetlands and swamps. A study by the International Cat Association documented that first-generation savannas retain up to 90% of the serval's aquatic behaviors, including diving to catch fish. The Abyssinian is another breed with low aversion to water. Originating from the coast of the Indian Ocean according to genetic research from the University of California, Davis, these cats retain an innate curiosity about water that other cats have lost. Breeders report that many Abyssinians learn to turn on faucets by themselves. Now the crucial question: can you teach a regular cat to tolerate water? Dr. Mikel Delgado, a feline behavior researcher from the University of California, Davis, says yes, but with conditions. Exposure must start before 8 weeks of age, during the critical socialization period. After that window, it's exponentially more difficult. An experiment from the University of Zurich with 42 kittens demonstrated that those exposed to warm water in a positive way before 7 weeks showed 53% less aversion to water in adulthood. The key was associating water with pleasant experiences, food, play, and adequate body temperature. Water temperature is fundamental. A cat's body has a basal temperature of 38 to 39 degrees Celsius, higher than humans. According to the American Veterinary Medical Association, the water that we feel is warm, a cat feels cold. To bathe a cat, the water must be between 37 and 39 degrees. There's a curious phenomenon that researchers call fascination with moving water. Dr. Dennis Turner from the Applied Ethology Institute of Zurich documented that cats prefer running water over still water. The evolutionary reason: in nature, moving water is fresher and has fewer pathogens than still water. This preference for moving water explains why cat fountains are so popular. A study published in the Journal of Feline Medicine and Surgery found that cats using water fountains consume 36% more water daily than those drinking from static containers. This significantly reduces kidney problems. Wild cats living near water show surprising behaviors. The fishing cat, Prionelurus vivarinus, inhabits the wetlands of Southeast Asia and is an expert swimmer. The International Union for Conservation of Nature classifies it as vulnerable. This feline has partial membranes between its toes that function as rudimentary flippers. The jaguar, the third largest feline in the world, is also a great swimmer. Unlike lions and tigers, jaguars regularly hunt in water. But even among big cats, the tiger is known to enjoy bathing. Bengal tigers swim kilometers between the islands of the Sundarbans. Aversion to water is not universal among felines. Back to domestic cats, there's a little discussed aspect: water stress. A study from Ohio State University published in the Journal of the American Veterinary Medical Association revealed that 33% of indoor cats are chronically dehydrated. Aversion to water also extends to drinking enough of it. Cats obtain much of their hydration from food in the wild. Mice, their primary prey, have about 70% water. Cats fed exclusively with dry food need to compensate by drinking more, but their instinct doesn't drive them to do so. Dr. Deborah Zoran from Texas A&M University recommends combining wet and dry food. A remarkable fact: the way cats drink is a marvel of physics. Researchers from MIT led by Roman Stocker discovered in 2010 that cats don't submerge their tongue in water like dogs. They curve it backward, touch the surface barely, and create a water column that rises by inertia. They drink 4 times per second with millimetric precision. Feline hydrophobia also has an auditory component. Cats can hear frequencies up to 64,000 Hz, far above the human range. The sound of splashing water, amplified by their superior hearing, can be stressful. Dr. Karen Overall from the University of Pennsylvania suggests that the noise of water is an underestimated factor of aversion. Let's recap: cats hate getting wet due to desert evolution, absorbent fur, loss of control, olfactory sensitivity to chlorine, and amplified hearing of water noise. But breeds that love swimming, like the Turkish Van, Bengal, Maine Coon, and Savannah, demonstrate that genetics can overcome these barriers. Nature always has remarkable exceptions. If this documentary surprised you, subscribe to Cat Brothers now and turn on notifications. Every week we publish a new documentary with real science about cats. The next episode will tell the complete story of cats from Egyptian temples to your sofa. You can't miss it.